They would also be checking answers of the other students as they were walking around and working. It was so cool, you guys. A 3-syllable word.
Stumbling!
And what I noticed is when you were reading it, you would kind of start to read it and then you would mumble the rest of it. Let's read it closely together. Ready?
98.
Can you describe me? Adjective words.
Yes. Miss Cole is pretty.
Pretty? Like that one. When you make history, you do what?
Whoa.
That's
cool.
Thanks. Yeah! Hi sweet friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. If you're new here, I am a first grade teacher in Las Vegas. I've technically taken off, I think, 3 weeks of vlogging, so I can't catch you up on everything that has happened, but it is February. It's February, and it's February 21st. I will kind of do a quick walk around the room and kind of show you a few things because I miss talking to you, and although you'll probably see this vlog right after whatever vlog was last, it's been a long time since I have had a chat with you. I'll show you around and just kind of talk to you about updates. So first update is we have covered just about every phonics skill that I'm supposed to do in first grade. All of our secret stories really sped up this process. We spent about a week on 1 or 2 secrets at a time, but we also learned them a lot quicker. So what we're doing now is Rhyme Magic is our main phonics time. We started with these Rhyme Magic cards, and then we did these words that have the rhyme and then one ending, and then we moved on to these rhymes, which a lot of them have the secret stories in them, so it was a nice review. We also did the Rhyme Magic cards that have more than one ending, so like clippers, the rhyme would be ip, then the word clip, the ending clipper, and then adding another ending, clippers, more than one, so S. But what we're doing now, and we actually did these words, jump rope isn't a great example, but I did post like a TikTok and a reel, it's right here, and you can see us like flying through those words. So now we're on to the power packs, and this is just to reinforce spelling. You could do this as you go. It's great if you're learning about word families, which I don't specifically do, but I'm kind of doing that now. So we did ip last week. So here's the Rhyme Magic Power Packs, and it's really cool because it has all the rhymes separated, so you can kind of see it has all these. So we did ip last week, and they took a test on it. I have to check it. This week we're gonna do so our cards will look like this. I'll show you a part of this routine throughout the week. All of these words have the rhyme in it. So we're going to practice but we just do different activities. We practice reading it, writing it, and practicing those endings, and they're getting really, really confident, and it's really, really cool to see. So I'm loving the Rhyme Magic program. As our read alouds we have, I'm trying to think about what you've missed. Did you see Hair Love? I think I shared about Hair Love because it's one of my favorite books ever. We did inferences with Hair Love, and then we did the Love Monster. We talked about theme. I'm going to reuse this chart next year, which is why I did sticky notes. So we talked a lot about theme because we've done a lot with Me and Idea, and theme and Me and Idea are different. Does a first grader necessarily have to know that? No, but we still discuss it. So we talked about theme, then we read Love Z, and we talked about reasons and evidence. And my kids are really good at using the word because, so much to where if someone says because, sometimes they'll say it because I'm always asking them to give like an explanation for something. So the reasons and evidence are encouraging them to kind of share proof. And then we read Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch the week of Valentine's, and we did reasons and evidence again. You can see some of our sticky notes. This week you will not see a read aloud because I am strictly doing Black History Month. My plan was to kind of work it in every week a little bit, but the most we've done is like this little PowerPoint thing. So I'm just going to take my whole read aloud time and we're just going to read a bunch of books that feature positive Black history. That's something that I've learned, is that you shouldn't focus for Black History Month. You shouldn't focus on slavery because that's not Black history, that's white history. And for me, that's something I always did. And we talk about it sooner than February. I had just never thought about it like that. Like, Black History Month should be a time when you're celebrating and you're not necessarily talking about the terrible things. So hopefully that's helpful for you whenever you are watching this, because obviously talking about the hard history is important, but this isn't necessarily the right time to do that. So how far are we in now? I'm still updating you guys. I just missed you, okay? In math, we just finished unit 12, which is adding 3 numbers. We actually took the test before, I almost said break, before this 3-day weekend we just had, because yesterday was President's Day, and I have yet to grade them. I have high hopes, and I want to share something that I did with our test review because I just thought it was so wonderful, and I want to share it to you now in case you need it, because I don't know when we're going to finish our next unit. So here's what I did. I give my math test early to some of my kids who I can see have it. So for example, I introduce a new unit, teach a couple lessons. If I see that my couple of kids who are really good with their math concepts, if they have it, I meet with them in small group, make sure they really do understand it. I have them explain it to me. Sometimes I'll even put this on their class dojo so their parents can kind of see how we work out problems. But anyways, I give them their math test early and then they move on with me in small group doing other concepts. Sometimes they still join us with whole group, sometimes they don't, because I still think it's good to reinforce that and kind of give them that continuous practice, and kind of seeing me work out problems is still helpful to them. They just don't need it all the time, but I can't totally neglect that part of my teaching with them. Plus they like interacting with all the kids. So anyways, also that's a big push this year for my principal, is not to slow the high kids down. And so I feel like mentally I'm like, okay, I'm just making sure I am pushing them as much as I can, whatever. So anyways, we were getting ready for our math test on Thursday, and typically what I've done in the past is I would take a test that looks exactly like this and I would put it on the board and we would work through every single problem together. This time I didn't want to do that. This time I told them, because we've done all these concepts, we've been practicing these for weeks. This time I told them, I'm going to give you the test and I want you to just try to take it as if we're taking the test, but this is just a practice test for you to get an idea of what you still need help with and what you feel really good at. So I had my kids start the test, and then I talked with my students who had already taken the test and passed the test, my higher kids who are really familiar with these concepts, and I had a conversation with them about how to help their peers, how to guide them. We went through each section, so like, here's how you might help someone with this, and kind of lead them more to asking questions and showing them but not doing it for them, and making sure that they are helping the other students understand. So while my students were trying this on their own, I had that little brief with like 5 kids, and then those 5 kids became the teacher team, and I gave them an answer key and they were walking around, and if one of the students had a question, they would just raise their hand and someone from the teacher team would come and help them. They would also be checking answers of the other students as they were walking around and working. It was so cool, you guys. And if one of my students, they could see that they didn't get the right answer, they would go through and they would be like, oh, why don't we take another look at this one? And it was so wonderful. One of the best things that I feel like I've done all year, because I just felt so proud of like the teacher team leading the other students. Then if there were students who were like struggling with a lot of it, which is, I still have to give tests even if I know it's above some of my students, just like where they're at, because I need grades and this is the grade level standard, but I still worked with, like 3 or 4 kids at my back table. But it was really, really nice and really helpful, and my teacher team was really, really kind, and the students actually really like learning from each other. I know some people messaged me on Instagram and they were like, did the other students feel like bad or not smart? And I was like, no, not at all. They really like being helped with their peers. So I haven't graded the test yet, so I don't know how they did, but that's something new that I've been doing. And then afterwards, I did bring everyone back to the carpet, and for each section of the test, I did like 2 problems, but I called someone up who's not a part of the teacher team. So I let someone else who maybe didn't get to feel that leadership role come up and lead the class through a problem. It was just so amazing, and I really wanted to share that with you. Maybe you could try it, but it was pretty great. And then the last update, probably 10 minutes into the video now, maybe more. The last update I have for you is we finished our first personal narratives, and this was so exciting. It has taken us a super long time to get to this point in the year, but we're finally here. They have a full published book. We had a little publishing party, and I made a post all about that on Instagram that you can go and take a look at. I talk about how we do it. I use the writing curriculum from the Moffat girls. It's loose. It's not a for sure, like, I don't do the scripted version. I use a lot of her templates, and it's a very loose thing. But they finished their personal narratives, and we're going to do one more before we move on to our next reading unit, and I was just so proud of them. It's a new week. It's a short week because Monday was President's Day, and I'm excited to get started with you. Okay, finishing up my plan time, I wanted to kind of explain how I am doing my small groups right now. I like to share about that every now and then in case you need some inspiration. My group that's really the most behind, still doing CBC words. That's just where they're at. Some of them are intervention, so those processes are getting started, but that's just where we're at. And then I have another group. Keep in mind, we're in February. They're finally to the point where they're getting more fluent with CBC words, so we're still doing a lot of comprehension and doing a lot of nonsense words with mixed short vowels. This is book 6 in Hello Literacy's Decodables. I have the paper ones, and I'll show you what else I do so I don't have to prep the full books every time. I just have this first set fully prepped, but this is what the text looks like for group 1. I've got these fluency sheets from A Teachable Teacher. They are fabulous. I'll link them below. And I do nonsense words with them at my table, and this is kind of like their warm-up, and then we go into this, and then we do like our writing afterwards. Then group 2, they're on book 10 on the basic decodables. Keep in mind, I do a lot of phonemic awareness, a lot of like word games with them, so pushing the decodables wasn't something I wanted to do with my lower groups. Anyways, this is what the text looks like for them. And then we're doing short U nonsense words, and I am sending home, I made another copy of real words that my kids can practice at home. So like this is group 1, so I'll send that home with them. That pack from A Teachable Teacher has so many. And then group 3, I want to focus more. This is Meg and the 10 Hens. They're not thinking about the book, so I'm really focusing on that skill with them. And then my group 4, this is what I'm talking about. I didn't prep a whole book. The decodables have a page that just has like the full text on there, so there's not any pictures, which is again good for your kids who like want to guess everything because they can't guess because there's no pictures. But I just print this out because I don't have time to make a whole book. So they're working on this. It's called Sister Swap, and we're doing just some fluency with the different vowels and blends. So that's group 4. Group 5, we're doing some comprehension with longer passages because they are pretty skilled readers. So like this week I'm testing them on this passage. So I do a cold read. It's basically like a running record, but I do a cold read with them. They have this copy and I have this copy, and I'll kind of like mark their mistakes, if they're attending to the punctuation, expression, their phrasing, and then main idea is the big one because a lot of them, the first couple times we did these, it could not tell me the main idea. So we have to practice that skill. Like, okay, we can look at the title, we can look at the first line and the last line. What was the passage about? That's what they were struggling with. And then I'll pull them into groups and we'll do this passage together and talk about it and analyze it together. But it's after they've done their cold read, so I have their, I know what they know. And I really like that. This is from Can't Stop Smiling. I think it's a 2nd grade resource, but it's wonderful. So that's what we're doing this week in small groups. We have also been playing in some of my other groups this Spelligator game. Fantastic. Kids just take turns and they can build words on these little Spelligators, and it works out really, really well for your kids who, again, struggle with the vowels and making CBC words. So that's a little small group update for you. And a quick update with the center folder work that we do. I individualize my students' center folder work every single week. And when we were doing our phonics skills, I used Miss Giraffe's Phonics massive bundle. And some of my kids I still am putting in some of the ones that they need more practice with. But we're moving on to, again, more comprehension reading passages. Here's an example of what I'm putting in now. Teaching is a royal adventure. And this is kind of what it looks like, and I'm giving those. Some of my kids will get ones like this, and I can do this kind of with them. Like I said, I'm still pulling from that massive phonics bundle for some of my kids who need a specific skill, and I catch it. But for the most part, I'm really just focusing on comprehension and being in text with them. I don't have a lot of I don't have a curriculum, obviously, so I don't have a bunch of books like that I can pull. So this is what I'm doing to kind of make up for that. All right, we're going to read this passage this week. It's called Communities. I'm going to read it out loud for a minute, and then you'll get to read the rest in your brain. Let me get my timer ready. Right, go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
There are 3 types of communities.
All right, finish it in your brain. That's the main idea. We're going to do this in group this week. You did great. Our counselor. Here, Miss Call's class, I just wanted to say thank you for this sweet and wonderful heart. We are thinking of words that have our rhyme. Talk about it. Yum. Some of you were thinking of the word some, like our sight word some, but we know that that's not spelled this way. There actually is a word that's spelled S-U-M, and that's some.
Like the numbers some.
Like the numbers, like when you add 2 numbers together, you get the sum. Oh, Miss Call loves that word. What a bummer. I'm going to challenge you to create a word with 3 syllables.
Oh.
I know you were thinking of somebody. Do you remember? It's one of our vocabulary words. Nope. No, one of our vocabulary words from last week. Not those, but the week before. But a 3-syllable word. Stumbling. Nice job, 1st grade. Our wheel needs 1, 2, 3 more names.
It's umpire. Well, I know it because my brother does baseball. So,
Okay, so it has something to do with baseball.
A guy that
Tell
wears
them.
a helmet and a big,
Mask.
like.
What's their job to do?
It protects people. Is to crouch and catch.
Umbrella. Your brain can't grow if you're not looking. Strumming. My turn. Eating the aphids, but not any ants. Or like a pest.
But happy and healthy. Shelter, food.
But not.
Good, but is one. You're right. I forgot that one.
Not.
E-I-T-Y-T-E-N-A-C-I-T-Y. Do you know her?
I love her.
Hold on. Okay, so who saw Simone in the Olympics? Why the crowd is so quiet?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Because so she can focus.
So she can focus. So who knows why Simone Biles is so important? Besides her being in the Olympics? Why?
She doesn't need to.
It's actually set a record. Do you know what record? Do you know?
Yes.
What's her record?
It's 100. It's 100.
Gold medals in one single event. Written about Simone, and it kind of tells us the history, life, starting from when she was a child, so we can kind of see how she got to where she is now, where everybody knows
Can we watch
her
a little bit
name.
more of the video, please?
We'll watch a little bit more, yeah. Story of gymnastics champion Simone Biles. Why did the author of this book, why did they write and include this part in the book? Talk about it. That is such a good point. Who can tell me what he said? Yeah, maybe we could tell as a young child that she enjoys doing a lot of the things we just saw her doing.
She loves gymnastics.
Yes. They need a new plan to switch the destination.
Your destination is on the right.
Yes, like a
Yeah,
GPS,
like when you're
right?
driving,
Yeah.
she's like,
Good
the
connection.
destination is on the right.
She sets her sights on the national team. She comes so close in the 14th slot, missing the team by only one spot. So did she make the team?
Yes.
Did she make the team?
No.
Listen, it says she missed the team by only one spot, and look at her. This was what she wanted to do, right? She started taking gymnastics lessons. She got better and better, and she tried out for the team, and she came so close, but she didn't make the cut. So I wonder what she might be thinking. Maybe she wasn't practicing enough. Hold on. He said maybe she wasn't practicing enough. Someone needs to talk about that. So you think there's other factors that might have held her back from that got in her way. So
Or she probably slipped off of the mat.
So you're making kind of a guess or an inference, like maybe when she tried out she made a mistake, and that's possible too. Sometimes when we want things so bad and we don't get them, we can just give up. And we know she didn't
Or we could
do that.
until our birthdays.
To win, she prepares for the meet. Shake, shake, shimmy.
Yes, means to get ready.
I did not even catch that. Nice job. Prepare means to get ready. I love it. Is he hot? His moment. You cannot take away from someone else's moment. If someone's hot, it's a big deal. We cannot take away from their moment, okay?
Good job, you did amazing.
Shake, shake, shimmy, tumble to the beat. She loops and swoops, and here's the crowd roar.
Something different.
Which tells us that what?
And days are going by.
Days are going by. So this is a competition, and this is a competition, and this is a competition, and this is a competition. It's a really cool book, huh? I love.
Book tracker.
Oh yeah.
68.
Competing. Now we watched her compete, and there were a lot of people in the crowd, and not just people in the crowd, but who else is watching? The camera. Millions of people are watching her compete in the Olympics. Now, think about how brave you have to be to come up and talk in front of the class. Think about how brave you'd have to be to get up and talk in front of the whole school. Think about how brave you'd have to be to get up and talk in front of the country. Imagine millions of people all over the world with their eyes on you. That's a lot of pressure, isn't it? That pressure, because what she's doing here physically, it's not easy, but mentally, it's also really, really hard to do. It takes a lot of.
It's kind of embarrassing because.
It could be embarrassing.
Like sometimes.
Today we learned about Simone. Tomorrow we are going to learn about a ballerina named Raven. Fireflies. Where are you going?
We are going to work.
Okay, get busy. Oh wait, here, library. Take this book.
Oh, okay.
Dragonflies. Where are you going?
We are going to library.
Nope. Dragonflies. Have a seat. Gotta pay attention. Honeybees. Where are you going?
We are going to writing.
Writing. Get busy. I'll sit at home with you. You guys actually did really good in terms of reading it accurately, but we still need to talk about the main idea. So we're going to read it together. Let's start with our title. Ready? Communities. There are
3 types of
communities. Pause. So we see that punctuation right there, right? We need to make sure we attend to that punctuation, which means we're going to pause. Now we're going to keep reading smoothly until we get to another comma or punctuation mark. Ready? You might need to decide. And urban. Okay, I want you to look at the word rural. How many syllables to use? Thank you. 2 syllables. Okay, how many vowels do we have?
2.
2. We're going to mark those vowels. Get a pen. And mark your vowels with a V. We would divide it between what 2 letters? Yes, right there. Good. Good. Mark your vowels in the next word. Suburban. How many vowels?
3.
3. So we know how many syllables?
3.
3. Good. Separate your syllables. Ben.
Like this?
Good. So we have a CVC, a closed syllable. Closed syllable, closed syllable. Good. Okay, last one. So a lot of you guys tripped up on that. And what I noticed is when you were reading it, you would kind of start to read it and then you would mumble the rest of it. Let's read it closely together. Ready? Rural, suburban, urban. Okay? So if there's a word like that you're not familiar with, I know that was a new word. If there's a word like that, look for your vowels. Okay? Suburban. Open land and space. Good. And I noticed especially when you were reading, you paused at each one of these commas and you made sure to emphasize that. That was really, really good. Let's all try to read that one more time. In a rural community, you will find lots of farms, open land and space. Last, in an urban community, first syllable is what? Closed. Second syllable is? Closed. Our last syllable, it has what type of vowel?
An E.
An E, so we know that U says?
It's name.
Its name, so attributes of a city. Okay, let's reread that part. Start at last. Of a city. And then they put, right here, they put this dot dot. It's a colon, which means it's telling us, thank you, word work. It tells us it's going to give us an example. So, all the attributes of a city. Lots of people, skyscrapers, and public transportation. So that tells us all of those things can be found in a city. Okay, now we kind of read it and we figured out those tricky words. We're going to go back and I want you to read it again in your brain, and we're going to talk about the structure of the text. They told us they were going to tell us about what?
3 types of communities.
Good. Take a yellow crayon and highlight that. And there are 3 types of communities telling us about what we're going to read, right?
Yes. I accidentally.
So the main idea. We know we're reading about 3 types of communities. What are the 3 types?
Urban,
suburban,
and rural.
And rural. It's a hard word to say. I want you to underline where it's talking about rural. Underline this sentence. Good. Okay, let's read that sentence we underlined. In a rural community, an orange crayon, and color the word suburban. And then underline this sentence that's talking about the suburban type of community. The structure of this sentence is a little bit different. Hey, underline nicely, please. The suburban community, let's backtrack. This sentence actually starts right here. So we have a rural community, a suburban community. Now I want you to take, let's do green, public transportation. Okay, now that we've color coded it, can you see better what the structure of our text is? Yes. So they told us what they were going to write about, and then they gave us
ideas?
Not ideas. You're close. Information, reasons, evidence, right? They gave us that. So I want you to go through and see, what do you think Las Vegas is? Do you think it's rural, suburban, or urban? Okay, who thinks it's rural? We know it's not that. What do you think? Tell me why.
Las Vegas, you basically live like really close to houses and schools, and it's like lots of people and transportation.
I think I agree with, because we have lots of people. We have like a couple skyscrapers. And,
so would you say that the community around our school is different, or the same as the community that is the strip?
Different.
It's different, right? The strip is more of an urban, and our community is more of a suburban. So it's not really that place with all those big super tall buildings, it's the area around it. So which community would you like to live in?
Suburban and urban.
So okay, so you're telling me you wouldn't want to live on a farm?
No.
Why not?
My grandpa lives on a farm.
Farms are nice.
Yeah, but I don't like too many animals.
Okay, tomorrow we're going to write about why we would want to live in this specific type of community. You guys did a really good job. You can actually keep this copy. Go ahead and put it in your B binder. Time for Hager. Actually, time for the bathroom because we didn't go yet. So,
Can we go all by ourselves this time?
do you guys think you can?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Director and helper line up. Boys line up. Girls line up. Boys monitor. Girls monitor. Line monitor. You guys think you can walk down, use the restroom, and walk all the way back together?
Yes.
When everyone's done with the restroom, since you're the director, you're going to tell them, okay, second square. You're going to walk all the way down, use the bathroom. You're going to be super quiet, and you're going to walk back. Yeah? Okay.
And sit on our learning leaves.
Eyes up.
Forward.
Wait, your voice is on?
I'll be really impressed if you can do this, okay? They wanted to go to the bathroom by themselves. Let's see. Good. Okay, you're going to repeat the words, and then you're just going to say the last sound. It'll sound like this. Message, passage, message, passage. Okay, nice job. Ready? 1,000, 100.
100.
Pilot, moment.
Pirate moment.
Good. Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
And good. Say it with confidence. Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
And
Enjoyment.
recover.
Recover. Recover. Recover means to get better.
Wow. You guys are on it. Motivate.
Motivate. Motivate.
Good. Say motivate.
Motivate.
It sounds like I'm saying motivate, but it's actually motivate. Motivate, okay? That it's kind of hard sometimes when you talk quickly. Say segments.
Segments.
Without the it's just
Segments.
segments. Say hippo. Without the ha, it's just hippo. Dozen. Without the d, it's just dozen. Beautiful. Nice. We're gonna switch it up to this accent. I don't know what it is.
Like, can we speak in French?
It's a little country.
Can we speak in French?
S'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
Say
Say
star.
star.
Change the R to an and you got star. Wanna be cheerleaders? Say cut. Change the to an R. Get cards. Wow, good job. Say mine.
Nine.
Change the I to an ooh and you get moon. Porch. We're just being silly. Okay.
Can we try this one?
No. Okay, time for. It is. Yes.
She is so tiny.
This is
She's
her.
so tiny. It's like the size.
This is her on the way home. He's cute. He doesn't look weird.
I didn't picture him looking like this. I thought like that. How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
28.
How old is she?
28. But this was 5 years ago.
This
We actually got Tesla right after we got engaged, but we were not married yet.
You mean a wedding?
What? That's Tesla's butt. Oh, I miss her little puppy butt. Look at her little puppy paw.
Oh my cuteness. Wait, can you take her?
Oh, wait. No, look. What do you guys see? It's poop, but what does the poop say?
I love you.
Her first poop on her puppy pad said, I heart you. Isn't that so cute? It's so cute. Obviously, getting Tesla was a really important moment for me, and you could even tell how exciting of a moment this was. So this is a really good story to choose for a personal narrative because it's interesting, it's fun, it's original, and I have a lot to say.
What's your dog's nickname?
She doesn't have a nickname. We just call her, we call her Pupper. Like puppy, Pupper. Where's the Pupper? We have all of our details. My document camera is not working. Surprise, surprise. But we have all of our details. If you missed, you come see me if you were not here. We have all these details. You're going to do your beginning, middle, and end sketch. You can have her. She's actually sick right now, so I have to take her to the vet after school. I don't know. Oh, but if we ever have like a park day, sometimes with my classes, I'll schedule like, hey, let's have pizza in the park with your teacher. I might be able to bring her to one of those. But she's like really hyper, so I don't know. Okay. Do you remember this page?
Yes!
Guys, see, I love to show you fun things and new fun things, but I need you to what?
Listen.
And I don't want to have to remind you. If you can sense that our class is getting crazy, calm it down. Me picking her out. In the middle, it'll be us driving to the farm and picking her up. And then my end will be taking her home. So save that for your story, okay? Okay. You don't want to spoil your story. If you are not done,
That's okay.
you have two choices. Number one, you can take this home and do it at home. Or number 2, you can finish it when we have some free time or in the morning when you come in. It's your choice. If you want to make sure you get it done today, you can take it home. Otherwise, take your paper home.
Okay.
Otherwise, you need to make sure it gets done. I have a surprise for you guys. We have all of our personal narratives that we already published out in the hallway. And we've been getting lots of compliments. So I already read these. I'm going to give these back to you guys today. This one's for our whole class, so we'll keep it in our classroom from Miss Melinda's class is reading a couple of your stories. So we have some compliments for your stories. So let's start with, I like your story because I like how you illustrated it. Your illustration is so great. I said, I love your writing. It is fun. My compliment is that I like the background. I also like the school inside. And I like the outside because the pictures are the best. We're still doing 2-digit addition, but this one's gonna feel a little bit easier because we're just adding 10. I put it in the tens place or the ones place. This one? Okay, put it in the tens place or the ones place. Put it face down, don't show them. Okay, let's see what our number is. Did you really guess? Okay. In our tens place.
9.
A 10. We actually, you know, we can't use that one. It's too big. Here, we'll use this one. Ready? In our tens place, we have a 5. So what is our number on top?
5
What is 5, 3?
8.
No.
I actually counted.
What is this number?
53.
So this number is going to represent 53, okay? 53 plus how many? Plus 10. Now, if we use our hundreds chart and we find 53, can someone come find it for me? Beautiful, thank you.
3.
So knew that before we counted.
It was 60.
Everybody should know that because this is 10 more. 53, 63, 73, 83, 93. We know this because we've practiced it. To 63, did our ones change?
No.
No. Did our tens change?
Yes.
Yes. When we add 10, are we adding any ones?
No.
No. So 3 plus 0, tens are in our 50. 5 tens. What's 5 tens plus 1 10?
63.
28 plus 10, what is it?
38.
It's 38. We're not adding any ones. We're adding 0 ones. Plus 10 is how many? 38. If this number is not just an 8, what is it really?
80.
It's really 80, right? 80 plus 10 is what? 90, right? 80 plus 10 is 90. So 86 plus 10 is 90. 96.
And then we add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me pick this. Okay.
9.
Oh, 98. The ones. Now flip them over.
Big reveal.
Okay, our 10 is 3. Our 10 is 32.
My total is 65. What's in my tens place?
5.
Why is it a 5?
50 and then count 10 more, it's 60. 6.
Why is it 6?
Because you already know what 60 plus 10 equals 70.
Okay, end of the day. I actually have to rush out of here because I need to go home, check on my dog, make sure she's okay, and then take her to the vet. So, I was a little bit nervous that I wasn't going to be able to make it. So, I had to cancel our vet appointment. It's hard. I thought, you know, if I left right after school, right when I dismissed kids, I could make it. But I had to stay a little bit later. So I ended up scheduling for an 8 a.m. drop off tomorrow. I feel so bad for my sweet girl. Hey, Pupper. Oh my. Not glamorous. She's definitely not feeling better. Having a sick dog just sucks because they can't tell you that they don't feel good. You just know they're miserable. When she's just had a bath. You're so little. Come here. Yeah, there's a happy pupper. Well, hopefully feeling better. She hasn't had much to eat though. That's the problem. I really wanted to film some interesting content for you guys. but I think it's better to just show you that I'm literally laying on my couch eating a blueberry bagel that I didn't really make 100% right. I need to like mix in the blueberries with the dough, but I tried to do it in post. Oh my God. I tried to do it after the fact. So anyways, that's my reality after school at 4:41. At least I'm home. Time has passed. It's the next morning. I'm eating chocolate chip bagel with chocolate chip cream cheese. I'm living my best life with these homemade bagels. Let's go to school, and I want to chat with you a little bit about all the clips that you saw from yesterday. One of the things I showed you yesterday was poetry. We were reading a poem about ladybugs and talked about aphids. So I pulled in some like real world, like a video from YouTube to kind of show them what an aphid was. And then I'm also letting my kids lead the beginning part of our poetry. So sight words, capital letters, punctuations, they can do nouns, they can do verbs, they can do adjectives, they can do blends, they can do vowel teams. Actually, the blends and the vowel teams and the digraphs, sometimes when I'm up there doing it, like when I am leading it, I'll miss some and they'll be like, Miss Call, go back, like you missed one. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So I just am letting them do most of it now, and like they can do the rhyming words and everything. So that has been going really well, letting the students take over that poetry time. Plus I'm really at the point in the year where I'm trying to get them to be more independent and just like working with each other and teaching each other. So poetry has been going really well. We also read Flying High, which I don't know if you could tell from the clips that I showed you, but the book about Simone Biles, they absolutely loved. They adore her. So that was a really great read. I would highly recommend it if you haven't heard of it. I only heard of it recently. So there's that. And then for, small groups, I recorded one of my higher reading groups that I'm working with, and we are doing these passages from Can't Stop Smiling, and I will link it below. I might have already said that, but I'll link it below. And it's just these little passages, and she has running records with them. I know how to do a running record. I don't rely on them a lot, but it is kind of helpful to like document which students miss which words, and these are not like the correct markings for a running record, but I know what it means when I go back and look at it. I know what these symbols mean to me. So if running records are something that intimidate you, number one, you don't need to use them. I mean, unless you're required to use them. So for like, I know like Phonics and Pinnell makes you use them, but we're not going to get on that ramble. But as long as it makes sense to you and you know what you're recording, then it's fine. And then, so I did a cold read with each of my kids. I actually finished it yesterday, and then I pulled them all for a small group, and we have just started to really work on finding the main idea in passages like this with that group. And they knew it was about communities, but they didn't understand what the point of the text was. And granted, they'd only read it one time, but so we spent a longer time on that. And I actually shared some of the clips that you saw yesterday. I shared those on my Instagram stories and kind of explained it. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go and follow me there, because you'll get to see things more in real time versus like this is after the fact. But this is also nice because it's here forever and you can reference it. But anyways, the passage you saw us read yesterday was communities. So what I started off doing was we just focused on those words that they were struggling with. So like rural, suburban, and urban. We did our vowels. We segmented the word into syllables, which that group does really, really well with. And that is a skill that I didn't use my first year or even my second year of teaching. When I my second year when I taught kindergarten, I didn't do it. But it's something that I've incorporated more since last year, and it's made a huge difference. Obviously, I do rhyme magic and a bunch of other things, but having them actually like break apart the words and notice the syllables and the vowels, like it helps so much. So if you're not doing that with your kids, I would definitely look into syllable types and basically how to mark them and understand them, because if you educate yourself on that, you'll be able to help your younger readers solve words they don't know a bit easier too. So we did that. We previously talked about that the main idea is something you can look for in the title, in the beginning, and at the very end. And so we highlighted the first sentence to kind of showcase the main idea, and then I had them color code and organize the text so they could see it. Okay, they're going to tell us about rural, suburban, and urban. Here's where they say rural, suburban, and urban. It just kind of helps them to visualize exactly what's happening. So today what we're going to do is we're going to write which one we'd want to live in and why, and we're going to try to keep kind of the same structure of this text. So that was actually a lesson that went really, really well yesterday, and it's like I love this point in the year teaching first grade where I have some of those kids who are ready for those skills. And I've said before, like, oh, like one day I want to teach second grade. I want to teach first grade, but I love how at the end of first grade they are you know, so much more mature and they're ready for some of those concepts that I think are really fun. So moving on, what else did I show you? We did, let's just skip over to math. We're doing 2-digit place value, so I'm starting with just adding and subtracting 10. Really it was a review because they should know how to do this. They really should, but I haven't written it as an equation, and the example you saw with the pirate, the ARG, that was just my way of trying to make it like a fun little game. Really, adding and subtracting 10 should be a review for them because we've practiced that before, but they hadn't seen it in an equation format, so I wanted to do that because seeing it like that, it's a little bit more intimidating than saying 10 more 10 less for them, I noticed. So we did that yesterday. You also saw I pulled up my hundreds chart. We do a lot of work with the 120 chart. That was a really nice scaffold for some of my kids. And I've said before, but whenever we're doing like a new unit or math concepts, I want to try to make the beginning as much of a game as possible because it gets them more interested in the skill, and it's more fun for them to learn, and it's more fun for me too, honestly. So we started off with some kind of game. I split them up into the same groups that they do during reading centers, and they were playing the game together as a group, and it was actually really, really nice. So we're going to be moving on. Actually, I have to meet with my principal this morning for like a little data meeting, and then today is house day, so my school does the house system. I want to make a video so badly explaining all of it. I just don't have.
Good morning. We are flipping out to have you here, and nobody stacks up against you. So come on down to the main hallway if you would like some pancakes. Pancakes or up for grabs. Main hallway. Come on down.
Okay, I don't remember what I was saying, but I'm gonna go get some pancakes.
Don't get the mess.
So cute! So our school is doing Fill Your Bucket February. Is that what it's called? Fill Your Bucket February?
I have no idea.
I think it's called Fill Your Bucket February. And every school that I've worked at, I've always thought during our actual Teacher Appreciation Week, like nationwide, like, oh, I just wish this wasn't just like a 1 week a year thing. And here they do like nice things for us pretty often, so I really love it. Also have some girlies chilling in here reading. One of them's reading the Simone Biles book. Let's make the most of it. Happy face. Today is also Big House Day. Go Tenacity! What's the rhyme, class? Good. Ready? Pump, pumpkins. Pumpkins. Can someone come up and mark the vowels for me? Yeah, is she hot? She's on fire! Hold up. Good job. Good for? So this one right here, we have a closed syllable and a closed syllable with a blend. Read it. Gum drop. That was so good. 3, who wants to come mark our vowels? I'm so proud of you guys. For real, for real. There's that one that stands out. And there's that one. And there's that one. Beautiful job. Good. How many syllables do we have? 3. Let's read it. Hummingbird. What's the word? Hummingbird. Class, remind me what a noun is.
A noun is a person, place, and thing.
Okay, is she the only one? A noun is a?
Person, place, and thing.
There are things that we can taste. So, who's going to come up and lead our nouns? Really good teacher voice and lead the class. So make sure you get their attention before you start. Ladybugs.
A verb is something you can do.
Okay, so our verbs will be in what color?
Green.
Green. It's something you can do. Oh, don't cheat. Who has never led poetry before? Decided. After nouns and verbs, we do? Adjectives. And what color? Purple. You can tell me what an adjective is. Describe the noun. So I could say
How many nouns?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nouns. So for our adjectives, can you describe me? Adjective words.
Yes. is called is pretty.
Pretty? Like that one.
On some plants.
Hey, you're right. I'm sorry. Some is an adjective. I forgot to mark it.
Some plants.
Hold on. Tell us why some is an adjective.
Some is an adjective because it's some plants, like
It's telling us how many. Oh, before we start reading about Raven, I want to ask you, what does it mean to make history? What does that mean? When you make history, you do what? Okay, so you're thinking history can be made in the past. We hear a lot about people making history in the past, but Simone Biles, she's in the present time, right? So you can still make history. What does it mean to make history? You do something. Okay, you're on the right track. It means you do something. She was the first African-American woman to actually work for a really big, important ballet company. So what does it mean to make history? You do something for the first time. When you make history, you do something for the first time. So Simone Biles made history because she was the first woman to earn so many of those gold medals, right? So Raven made history. Raven made history because she was the first African-American woman to actually work for a big classical ballet company. That's why it's so important. And she is part of Black history because she is Black. So it was a really big deal for her. Yeah, it was a really big deal for her at the time and a really big deal for all of the other ballerinas. She became a role model for all the other ballerinas who are African American. Yeah, that part of history can make us feel that way sometimes, but it's really important to understand how that changed. Yeah, Raven inspired her to write this book, and she said, I wish I had known her story when I was a little girl. So now she's sharing Raven's story so that everybody knows it and everybody can be inspired. What type of story is this? Fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction. What type of nonfiction? Remember that word? A biography. It's a biography, so it tells us the story of someone's life. Before this time, there weren't any Black ballerinas. They were all just white ballerinas. So her friend said to her, you're not going to be able to make it because of your race. But did she give up? No, and that, she kept on trying, and that's what made her make history, because she persisted, right? She was tenacious about her goal. Like who else? Like who else? Like who else? Simone Biles, right? Both of these girls have something in common. When they were little, they really
wanted to be a ballerina.
Or a gymnast, right? They had a dream when they were younger, and then they got older and they tried and they
kept on trying, but they didn't make it.
And they didn't make it, but she tried again.
You're like the same.
Can you imagine if she had just given up?
It's a connection.
I noticed that.
I want you to start reading these nonsense words. If you get stuck on one, put your thumb up. Your whisper reading them. Zut. You found Zub. Find Zut.
Found it.
Over your chips and collect them all for me, okay? Just like this.
Whoa.
Okay? Magic wand, magic wand.
Magic wand, magic wand.
I'm a reader, I'm a reader. Why you want me to call you so you can play with the wands?
I get up to the tippy top to run.
What's this word?
I get up to the tippy top to run.
Nope.
Tippy top.
Nope, that's not tippy. What's that word? The tip
Top to run.
Keep going. Hold on. Read this page again. Turn your voice up. I run with my dog.
My dog
Has
fun.
Okay, so I heard you say at fat or at rat, at mat. I want you to try it like this. We run by a fat rat. I want you to practice blending instead of just going at. I want you to practice rat, okay? A fat rat. Oh, did you hear that? Run. There you go. Some of you are pretending to go across like this and it's actually confusing. So make sure your finger is under the word you are reading. Okay, get ready. I run up to the top. I run for fun.
I run for fun.
Good. Capital letter always first. Fingers, spaces between words. Okay, we practice these F's. Remember? Hook, down, cross. Okay. I run for fun. Try one of these F's. Finger space. Hook, down.
Hook.
Here, it starts here. Hook, down, cross. So you just go hook, down,
Cross.
okay, fun.
Fun.
I run for fun.
Finish.
Hold on. I run for fun. Oh, you're missing something. You're missing something.
Pretend not to know.
Oh, punctuation at the end.
Now I want you guys to look at your sentence and you are going to check it with me. I want you to evaluate how you did.
Yup.
Punctuation at the end.
Okay, now I could put a period, but we said, I run for fun. So I need an exclamation mark. Did you fix your F's? The hog cannot run.
Capital letter always first.
We're going to warm up with these words first. Says E says
Elephant.
I says O says Let's tap the sounds. Do it with me. Aw. How many sounds?
3.
There are 3 sounds. Good, do it smooth. Ma.
Ma.
Nice. Good. Can you clutch your sounds? Read it with your stick. For yellow crayon, I want you to highlight your main idea. And 1 reason in blue, 1 reason in orange, and 1 reason in green. Okay, so the structure of the text that we read is similar because it has a main idea. And then it gave us 3 reasons. It gave us descriptions of each type. Ours is going to be different because we're talking about one type, but we're giving 3 reasons why we would want to live in that one type. So what did you notice? What was in the first paragraph? What did they do?
They told us about 3 types of community.
First section, you're going to tell us about what?
A community
The community that
you want to live in.
you want to live in. So I might say something like, one day I would like to live in a rural community. Rural communities have open space and farms. Here are 3 reasons why I want to live in a rural community. So your first few sentences are going to explain. So to make it communities, we drop the Y and we'd add
I-E-S. Community.
communities.
Yes.
Your farm. Huh? Watermelon? Oh, no, it was kiwi. It's the end of the day. Days like this always just fly by. And is it Thursday or Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. I'm crazy. Okay, today's Wednesday. We talked about the first African American to work for a major ballet company. They love anytime we learn about somebody and we learn about them as a kid and like moving into their adulthood. They love that. So that went really well. It's centers, and for my centers with one of my groups, I used those fluency sheets that you guys have seen me post about. Fluency sheets, and then just on the spot I came up with like a little bingo game with the chips and the magnetic wands so that they could, I don't know, just so it'd be a little bit more interactive and fun. My other group, we worked on writing, and I had them color code it the same way. I can't remember if my phone was dead or if it was working, but we color coded it the same way. So the main idea is suburban, a suburban community. Then I had them write the definition, their definition of it. They weren't looking at anything. And then their 3 reasons they color coded. With our schedule today, we didn't have any time to do math. We just did lunch, and then we went and did house day. So everyone in the school is in a house. I am obviously Tenacity. Tenacity is the best. And I have kids in my house from kindergarten to 5th grade. So on house days, all of those kids will come to me. So each teacher is a house parent. All of those kids will come to me and we'll do activities in our room. So we played Birds of a Feather, which is a game that I learned about at lunch, where they kind of have to try to get themselves into groups by making animal sounds. I'm not going to sit here and explain it, but we played that. And then we played the Bamboozled jelly bean game just for some fun, you know, guessing, bonding, laughing, wholesome fun. I didn't get the nasty flavors because I didn't want to do that to my poor kindergartners. If I didn't have any kindergartners, I probably would, because it actually is quite funny. But some of the kindergartners, anyway, they were like, oh, this flavor is gross, so they still got nasty flavors, even though I didn't want to give them nasty flavors. But they basically worked with the partner. They picked a jelly bean. Their partner saw the jelly bean, what flavor it was, and then the person, you know, they would try to guess, and they had a lot of fun. So after that, we did a ceremony, a fathead ceremony, which is basically where students in the school get nominated for showing the characteristics of a house. So are they tenacious? Are they curious? Do they have integrity? Are they curious? Are they positive? And they get selected, and all the kids get really excited for them. They clap. Whoever gets nominated and who wins, their parents show up, and it's just this whole big thing. Usually there's tears, it's emotional, and just really exciting and really fun. And now my kids are gone, and I have to go to my house to change because I have ice skating today, and I did not want to wear leggings to school. I could. I didn't want to today, but I've got an ice skating test to take. I've been in lessons for 8 weeks. I've definitely gotten so much better. Our kitchen is kind of a mess. That's okay. So me and John, if you follow me on Instagram, I did save this to a highlight, but when we're doing good, we plan our meals out by the month. And so I'll show you what we have for February. Again, this is saved to a highlight on Instagram. I'm trying to save, like, if I can remember to take a picture of our dinner that night, save it so you can get inspiration. But I'll show you some of the menu. Okay, this is February. Today's Wednesday, but we're a day behind. So we made rotisserie chicken on Monday. We had leftovers yesterday. So today we're going to do the pork rind chicken fries with broccoli and mac and cheese. So here's just an idea. And then I'll show you January's. And we both of us had time out of town. So anyways, see if I can prep a little bit for our dinner. Glad I checked. I have to pick up some fresh chicken after ice skating. I thought we had some, but we don't. So I'm just going to crush up some pork rinds. Before, after. So you passed? Yay!
Bring out for the next session, all right?
Thanks.
Ladies, what are we doing?
Celebrating, we passed it. It was cold. I came for chicken, but I gotta look at the plants. Hi, you feel better?
Licking the pumpkin off his food. And her little antibiotic, which I had to hide in cheese because she didn't eat it.
Yeah, it does. I good. No, I knew I was a good. Just naturally. They even complimented my toothbrush. But look at it.
They have now added paper. Smile and laugh. Okay, cool. Also, sorry to hear that. And second off,
This is our team effort. John puts it in the oven. Okay, dinner's cooking. We're about to shower, eat. I'm gonna read my book. So nothing too interesting is gonna be happening for the rest of the night. So I'm gonna close it out here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video if it was helpful or if you just had fun. Subscribe and join our family down below. And I will see you in the next one.